A community is a group of individuals who all share a certain commonality between them. The beautiful thing about communities is that one person can belong to a plethora of them and still find a space to be themselves. Within each community, one might practice the art of code switching, the practice of alternating between two or more languages. Code switching is a concept that held great relevance to our interviewee's life, Kenyatta Neller. Through Kenyatta's experience of code switching and our own, we were able to identify the need for code switching. An individual may not be aware of it, but their code switching between different communities helps them adapt into that group.
A community to me is an environment that supports you and uplifts you in a positive direction. And for me, I have a Nigerian community and an American community. My Nigerian community is more so where like my close relatives and my family are from. And then like my American community is when I'm hanging out with like my regular American friends and just doing different activities with them. And I code switch in the different communities. In my Nigerian community, they know more so of my culture, so I can act a certain way around them and talk a certain way and say the language and understand the language that they use. And then in my American community, it's just more so just English, and it's formal, but I mean it's informal, but it's not as informal as my Nigerian community.
Okay, so I belong to two communities here at the University of Michigan. I belong to the Black community, which is a small population on campus, and then I also just involve myself into a larger student population of the community. So when I would I code switch especially between the two communities because on campus, since there's such a small population of Black students here, I really try to gravitate towards meeting more Black people since there's really such a small population of us. And so when I talk to them, I talk in a very different way. I feel like I could be more relaxed just because it feels like a sense of home and a sense of community, and we all kind of are striving for the same things. And then just as a regular student here, I talk more professionally, I present myself in a different manner, and I think that all has to do with code switching. I have to code switch between the two, and they're both not necessarily bad. It's just something that we have to do in life. And I think they're both important, and they both describe who I am as a person.
So my two different communities that I'm a part of is my one back home in my small town. My family were farmers, and so you can kind of get the idea of how small my town is. And then my community here, which is U of M, it's very smart, and it's held to a super high standard. So I feel like I code switch. At home, I can just relax and be myself. I don't really have to try to impress anyone. And then here, I feel like I have to be on my game. The only time I can really relax is on the weekends. And so I feel like I code switch in that way from being just relaxed and just more myself. And then in school and in classes, I feel like I have to be on my game. And what community means to me, it's just people who are willing to support you whenever you do. It's not necessarily a place because I have my community back home, but just to me, community is friends and family and the people who just surround you.
Okay, so can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, my name is Kenyatta Naylor. I am 46 years old. I have 3 children, 27, 25, and 13. I was born here in Ypsilanti, Michigan. I am still a student, get my bachelor's degree at Eastern, and I am a director, part-time actress, and performer because I write songs too. So I would say I'm a performer, an artist. Well, in this community, when I was growing up, we could actually leave our doors open, and this was back in the 70s. We used to leave our doors open, put the fan in front of the window, and the windows would be up, and we was good. Now, absolutely not. I don't care where you at, you're not leaving your doors open in no time of the night.
If we had one word to describe community, then now what would it be?
I would say love, because back then we had black festivals, we had haunted houses that people would actually do at their houses, and we in our community we knew about it. Even if it was somebody was late on their rent, they used to have rent parties. say somebody was getting eviction notice, they would actually have rent parties in the community that would come over and just bring money and donate money to whoever needed that. Like you don't get that kind of love today.
And can you talk a little bit more about your acting when you were younger and
Acting, I would say I've been acting my whole life. My grandmother actually gave me my first acting lessons when I was like 4 years old. So because I was raised here, but I also grew up in Leland, Mississippi, where my parents are from. So every summer they would let me go spend the summer with my grandparents. And when I got down south, my grandmother, she used to say KK, because my nickname is KK. My initials, Kenyatta Karina. So she said, KK, we going this so good, you better act like you got some sense. And I knew exactly what she meant, because when we was down south, I couldn't say, hi, how are you, ma'am? I had to say, hey there, how y'all doing? Because she didn't want me to, if I was to say, hi, how are you, ma'am? And say, oh, Miss Kid, where's she from? Come in, let me talk to you good. And my grandma would say, I don't want them white folks up in my face, so you go in here and act like you got some sense. And I go in there and say, hey there, hi ma'am, how they do? Like I was from down south, but I wasn't. So I've been acting since I was 4, and I think it actually helped me out a lot, because like even down south, when I got older, I remember I got pulled over, and it was a state police officer, state trooper, and he said, okay ma'am, I'm gonna need you to get out the car. And I said, oh my God, I was like, well, I'm just feeling it. And he said, well, where are you from? And he really like thought I was retarded. I was like, sir, I am from Ann Arbor, Michigan. I had no idea the speed limit was 55. Speed limit was 70 on our highways. And he was like, okay, well, I'm gonna let you pass this time. And it was hilarious for me, because that's the first time I ever heard a black man talk like that. Country, it's different slang down south, like proper country and country. So it was like the properest country I ever heard a black man talk in my life. So I think it helped me in life, basically. I know who to be and where to be, and how to pretend, how to act like I got some sense, as my grandmother used to say.
Through our experiences of code switching and Kenyatta's personal experience, we have learned that code switching is a necessity when interacting with different communities. There are differences between us and Kenyatta, but there are distinct similarities in the way we all code switch. Code switching benefits us because when we interact with different groups of people, we know how to adjust to that community. We know how to turn on a personality and when to turn it off. Code switching can help us maneuver through life while also adapting to different situations.